Okay. Okay. So, guys, so far what we covered. So, in switching, I can say L2 switching. So, what are the topic we covered? The first topic is VLAN. Okay. Second is trunk. Third is VTP. Fourth is STP, and fifth is Ether channel. And next, what is called a router on a stick, which yesterday we saw, and the seventh one, multi-layer switch, we saw. Right. So here we understand the gateway. So what is the need of gateway? So we need gateway is entry and exit point of any network, any VLAN. So if you go here, so how the companies will be, let's say for example, the basic diagram of any organization is what they will have. The first thing first, they will have a core switch. Okay, core switch will be there, and then access switches. Access switches means all the end users will connect to these switches. Let's say your computer, your laptop, your Wi-Fi devices, your printer, your scanner, um, your entry machines, your servers, sorry, your servers, your database, your storage. See, all this called as an endpoints. So they actually connect to where? They connect to the layer 2 switches. Layer 2. See, I'm pronouncing layer 2. So this is actually a layer 2 switches. They also called as a access layer switches. Okay, let me write down here. Access layer. Please go on mute. Who is that? Okay. So access layer switches. So what is access layer switches? The access layer switch, all endpoints will get connect here. Okay. And from access layer switch, they connect to where? They connect to the core switch. Okay. So let me write down. This is a core switch. So usually the core switch will be a layer 3 switch. Okay. Which has a routing capability, which has like more, what is called, yeah, more capability. So this access switches, to they connect to core switches via trunk. Okay. Then this endpoints, so I will write down here, this below all are endpoints. Okay. Endpoints can be your PC, printer, server, and printer, server, your scanner, whatever, everything will come here. Okay, they called as endpoints. Okay, next, this all the endpoints, they connect to this layer 2 switches, that port called access port. Okay, access port. and the switch to switch, whatever they connect via trunk. Got it? Next, generally, okay, so now in the if you are running a VTP, so the VTP server, who will become a VTP server here? So generally core switch will be a VTP server. So you will make this core switch as a VTP server, and all these access switches, they will be a client switches. Sorry, in the client mode. So they whatever the VLANs you have, it will propagate to all the VLANs. So that's one thing, understand. Second thing, in STP, when you're running the STP, so who will become root bridge? So core switch, we will make core switch as a root bridge. How? By using a hardcode command or by just changing the priority value, then STP will become. Okay, that's two things we understand. So trunk we connected, VLAN will create from here. So this is how it works. Now the importance is ether channel. So where we use ether channel? So if you look at here, these access layer switches, they they may be in some another building, or no, not in another building. They may be in another floor. Okay, where some 40 users are sitting there. So these access layer switches generally it depend. They will buy. You have option to buy 24 port, 48 port. That's it. Last 48 port you will get any switch. So if you want more, then you can take a stack switches. So stack switches is actually you can club 48 port switch into by connecting stacking cable. So 48 plus 48 plus 48 plus 48, like this you can club them via cable, but physically there will be four switches, but logically it will be one. That is called access switches. So these are the like endpoints will get connect here, and this trunk port. See, what is this trunk? Trunk, it's a standalone. Standalone means whenever you see the standalone, it's a risk. Why? Because you have, let's say you have some 100 users connected via this switch, and the all the dependency is on the single cable. If a rat came into your data center and it break the cable, then your network will get down, right? That's why every this all trunk port will be a redundant port, right? So whenever you connect redundant, spanning tree will again come into action. So for that, what we do, we make bundling of this port ether channel by using the ether channel. So now your ether channel done, right? Next, on top of core switch, what will be there? On top of core switch, generally there will be a firewall. Okay, and on top of that there will be a router. And here is the internet. So you will connect to your router will connect to the internet, then from internet to firewall, firewall to core switch. So this is a generic traffic, a generic network, firewall, and I will say ISP router. Okay, now, so this is internet. So what will happen is, see, you're switching whatever you learn here, all the switching will be run in the LAN. See, switching, this is the scope of the switching. In office, within that building, within that LAN. See, so within this, so what? How many layers are working here in this office, L1 and L2. L1 and L2. What is L1? L1 is nothing but all the cables. Can you see the switching cable, trunk cable, access cable, cable from printer to here, fiber cable, copper cable, everything is coming here under L1. And L2, this all technologies creating the VLAN, trunk, VTP, STP, the channel, these all are coming here. Switch configuration. What will happen is one switch, you can add the new switch, or what will happen, your switch will be having some problem, you need to change that switch, change that switch. So this all things are here. So see, here we haven't talked about the L3. So within this only there will be two different jobs, L1 jobs and L2 jobs. L1 job means what they do is L1 job. The first either like not L1 means they will just specific to the cables and all. L2 they will have some more rights to create that switches and all. And similarly, when I say a desktop support, so what these guys does is whatever your like server, your printer, user, if they have any problem, anything, so they need to fix their issues, their computer problem, their laptop problem, Outlook is not working, internet is not working, their cable has some problem. So desktop support guy, if he see there is a cable problem, so he will inform the L1 guy, please change the cable. This guy will pull the cable from here to here, he will change it, right? Then if suppose you configure a new printer, so desktop support guy, he will coordinate with the printer guys, printer will come into your office, then L1 guy will pull the cable from here to switch, and L2 guy, he will assign a VLAN to this particular port. L2 guys. So see, this is the coordination of two three people. It is not a single guy. If you have a small organization, then fine, you are one man show. But for larger organization where you are going to work, this is the procedure. So you need to work with vendors. You need to if suppose some laptop is having some problem, so you need to open tag with the laptop, like it will be in the under warranty. So you need to call that guy, he will come and he will check that, he will repair. Till that time you need to arrange a temporary laptop to that uh, user. So this is how it works. Every whatever we see, everything is procedure. So this is actually your roles and responsibilities. Okay, so now what will happen after the core switch? Between core switch and firewall there will be routing will be run here, routing protocols. And what firewall does is, firewall actually protect internet threats coming from the internet. It will protect this one. So here we write rules, here we write firewall policy. So allow, and what it does, two function, allow and deny, whom to allow and whom to deny. So there are two approach, either you like what you can do, or you just put allow rules. And how it work is firewall 1 2 3 like this. If you have three rules, so it will see hit the first rule, then second and third. So if suppose you, what you can do is you can just allow what you want, rest everything in the last there will be policy called deny any. Deny any means it will deny everything except what you allowed. So this is a good approach. So from here to this, and firewall, like generally it has a zone. Zone means a boundary. So whatever come connected from this firewall interface to the switch, so this interface will be in inside zone. Inside means you need to protect it, inside zone. And this interface which is connected here, where in the outside world is connected, so this is called outside zone. So outside zone is nothing but the boundaries, right? So you can create a policy between this zone to this zone. You can control like that. From inside, anyone can go to outside, but from outside, no one can come to inside. Why? Because your all in network is here. So firewall will take care of that. Then ISP router, there will be again routing will be run between firewall and the ISP router, and there will be a default route and static route will be here in the between from ISP router. So router, these all are this is generic. If I take any small office, so this will be the diagram. This will be the approach in any small office. Okay, where you will have all these devices, where L1, L2, L3, L4, all layer will work. So just have a look here, just 1 minute. Okay, so I'm back. So we have switches, router, firewalls, okay, and the cables. So why I'm showing you, you need to understand this. This is called a network actually. So within this, there are various jobs will get created. So for firewall, there is a separate job. For routing, there is a separate job. For switching, there is a separate job. Desktop, there is a separate job. For cabling, there is a separate job. So that's why what we are targeting here is, see, there are many things you can. There is a huge scope for you. You can move from L1 to L2, L2 to L3, L3 to L4, then senior guys. So what like after 6 year 8 years, so they're expecting your architect. Architect means you will plan and design the network. So see, this is the internet connectivity. Similarly, if you have branch offices, okay, if you have branch offices, then there will be another MPLS router. Some router will be there, MPLS technology or some other technology. So it will connect here from your switch, and from here it will connect to another your branch offices. So actually, it is, let's say it is a MPLS cloud, and from here your all branch offices will get connected. Let's say Bangalore, Pune, USA, UK. So they will get connected. So now just think about your MNC scenario. MNC means multinational company. So see, now let's say this office in, okay, this office in, let's say, Hyderabad. Okay, and let's say this office in, it is in Pune. This office in Bangalore. This office in Chennai. This is in, let's say, UK. Okay, I can say, and one more in USA. Okay, so now I will tell you one thing. So what will happen is, so what is the network? Network means any branch office, they can easily they can communicate to this server. This server can communicate to this branch office. So they all they all logically they will feel that they are within one building only. So here all L2, L3 technology will come into picture. But the main thing you need to understand is, if you see when if you get a job as a network engineer, so and you are sitting into Hyderabad, so you need to take care of all the router and switches which is available in Pune also, all Bangalore, Chennai, UK, US. So you will say, how I can take care of the US and UK routers, switches, firewalls? How can I do that? So yes, you have to do that by using a remote connectivity. You need to handle that. If anything required, then in every office, see, network engineer will not be having in every office for the MNCs. You will not have network engineer in Pune, Bangalore, Chennai. So generally, if suppose this is the head office, okay, so in head office you will have a network five network engineers team. They working 24/7 environment to let's say six, so two in one shift. So what will happen? So two engineers if they are working here, so they need to take care of all this remotely. They can log into all branch office switches, router, firewalls, and they take care everything. In case if you need some cable pulling or some cabling issue, so in every office desktop engineers will be there. Desktop engineers, then L1 engineers, then support engineers will be there. So what these guys does is, so they are if you have anything physical related issues or physical connectivity something, so these local guys they will help you. You need to coordinate with them. So that's why if you look at here, for these out of these six offices, the network engineer scope is five only. But IT support engineer, there will in every office there will be five like this, 25, 30. So that's why if you look at here, so why I'm targeting mostly L1, L2 jobs, because the opening will be huge for L1, L2. I know, see L1 and L2, L1, L2, L3. So this type of jobs will be there. So mostly, if suppose L3 has some five opening, then L2 and L3 you will have 30 plus opening. That's why if you see my recent students, so most of them they got the job in L1 and L2. So all the desktop related services, all the desktop like printer having problem, okay, then PC having a problem, then installing the operating system, solving the user issues, okay. And this desktop engineer, what they do is they can L1, L2 engineer. So your approach is physically here, like you need to take care of these switches, not switches, router, printer, your user issues and all. But similarly, if Bangalore user having some problem, you are able to solve that. You need to take a remote and you need to solve that. If Chennai user is having a problem, so he will call one called service desk. So there is a separate job also there for as a service desk. So this is only for within your organization. So you will helpline. I can say helpline. So you will call that. They will say what is the problem. So they will get your all information and they will create a ticket. That ticket will go to the support engineer, and they will call you and they will work with you. What is the problem? If you have something, then they will. There are multiple tools they can ask, and you need to join that, and your computer will be screen will be shared by shared with that tool, and they will help you in that. So this is how the work is. Okay, so when you are going advanced here, let's say you're understanding L2 layer 2 switches, then we will see the routing and also. So as I'm telling, so the upper layer, how you are going to the upper layer, so your scope, the job scope will be less. So what we are targeting here in this course is we are trying L1, L2, L3, L4. We are showing you all. So what will happen if tomorrow, if any network engineer opening is there, you're applicable. If any system engineer opening is there, you're applicable. Support engineer, desktop engineer, um, L1 support, like all this profile, you're applicable for that. That's what I'm targeting. And recently, whatever the students they got the job, most of them they are getting first jobs on the support level, L1 support, L2 support, like this. So hope you understand. Any questions before I move on? Guys, if you have
Yes.
any doubt, please ask.
No, sir.
Okay, clear.
In firewall, what the role of managed firewall? Network security?
Who is this? Shadab.
Shadab, yes.
Okay. Firewall is a big terminology. Firewall, it obviously it does a network security. Then it also um, it is like a security guard in your office. It will see whom to allow, whom to deny.
Okay.
It allow only authorized people. Only if Shadab is like this office guy, his user ID is unique. It will get authenticate from the like a AAA server. Then only he will allow you. Okay, Shadab is authorized guy. Yeah, you can come here. So there will be policy will be written there.
Okay.
What rights you have. So firewall has basic to very advanced control. Firewall can does a IPS, intrusion prevention system, where it can find the vulnerability, it can find the viruses if some viruses are coming. So the firewall which I'm talking about, they are the next generation firewall,
Okay.
which they have a layer 7 capability to understand the application. What is layer 7 capability means? If this user, if this user is accessing some Gmail on the internet, so in that time the firewall, in the firewall you will see that user Shadab is currently accessing Gmail. Gmail is nothing but the application. So application visibility can be happen on the firewall. So firewall is a layer 7. Nowadays layer 7 firewalls are there. So layer 7 means they, it does the same, but they have a capability to understand the layer 7 application also. And this is what huge scope. Firewall is, you know, I am the SME of the firewall. Okay.
Okay.
And from L4 to L7, L4 to L7. So any in my career, I deployed more than 1,000 firewalls. Deploying, I'm talking about removing the old one and deploying the, and across the world, Dubai, USA, UK, everywhere. So this is the key actually, key role in every organization, whom to allow, whom to deny. So this is what the firewall is a big topic, very big topic. Okay, so that's the one. So but now see here, we are talking about the layer 7, layer 1, but you are, so now you guys can think now, you understand the computer hardware, computer networking, computer problems. right? Servers. So you guys are ready for this type of jobs. So now we are going little bit advanced. So what I'm saying is, if today, if you don't understand the firewall, nothing will happen. Because at least what we are giving you track, we are giving you path, that okay, so you need to go from L1 to L7. Okay, so if you get the job on L1, please grab that first, start your job, start your career, then slowly move to the L2, slowly move to the L3. So there is a huge scope. So there is no stop for the learning. You need to learn. So there is no limit for learning. Okay. Okay. So that's one thing. So let's move on. So this is just on. Okay. Now one more question. Can someone, let me see who is intelligent here. Can someone look at here and tell me what is the disadvantage here? Just forget about this one. Just look at this office, okay, where you have access switches, core switch, firewall, ISP. What is the drawback here you're seeing? Let me see who understand well. First, कौन बोल रहा? हाँ, Shoaib.
Yes, sir. I think single point of failure also there.
So can you just explain? Yeah, you. Hamid Ali.
Yes, sir.
What is the drawback here? अरे भाई क्या प्रेजेंट ही देके चले गए क्या? हामिद अली बोलते यस बोल के चले गए. मैं बोला हामिद अली शाहिद हाँ यस सर.
Yes, sir, present, sir. So drawback to
ड्रॉबैक ये है कि ये कंपनी हमको लिया नहीं, इसलिए ये ड्रॉबैक है. So anyone else गौर से देखो वहां पे क्या प्रॉब्लम है. कुछ प्रॉब्लम है वहां पर. ठीक है, गो ऑन म्यूट, देखते रहो, गौर से देखते रहो. हाँ, एनीवन एल्स? हाँ, या राइस.
Single point of failure only.
Okay, where single point of failure?
Between core switch and
आप म्यूट क्यों कर दे रहे हैं? हाँ, हेलो. हाँ, अब बोलो.
between core switch and firewall and routers.
Very good, excellent. So is there any option to claps here?
no.
I think there is option. Wow, excellent answer. So you have a problem here. You have a single core switch. Now look at this. What even Rais, Shoaib, you guys are exactly correct. Okay, and Hamid Ali and Shahid, you guys are present today because you have given attendance. Thank you. Okay, so now if you look at here, so what is the drawback? Just look at here. If suppose you have all the LAN, everything is working fine, everything is there, but can you see this is the hardware? You have single hardware. If this hardware went down, what will happen? If this firewall is went down, what will happen? If this router went down, what will happen? If this your key of his see how important this device is. If this went down, your entire branch offices connectivity will gone. So how key role of this router is? Your entire like if you have 1,000 users, if this router went down, so 1,000 users internet connectivity will lose. If this firewall is having some problem, then it will behave all the connectivity, all the information will be down, right? Similarly, core switch is the key. It is the heart of your organization, where all the L2 L3 technologies will be running on that. And if that device, you see, this is hardware. Human cannot save from the viruses, right? So these are the hardware. So there is a problem can be happen there. Let's it become old switch. There will be a hardware bug. There will be some power outage. Frequently, if suppose some organization, if you don't have redundant power, if you're like if you don't have a UPS, frequently switch is getting down, then immediately like it will have some problem of the power outage. Its internal parts can be damaged, and it will have, so you need to replace that switch then from the Cisco. So if you have Cisco, then Cisco, you need to open TAC with Cisco, then Cisco will come and they will replace your switch. If it is under contract, they will provide you a new hardware, that is called RMA, return material agreement, RMA. So this procedure can be happen there, but for that you need to have but this is a problem, single point of failure. So this single point of failure is having, so just think, so in the organization, in the multinational organization, so as I told, everywhere there will be two switches will be used there. Okay, let me modify this diagram. So what they do is they will use two core switches, there will be two firewalls, there will be two internet router, and you know, in even they don't take even internet router, and there will be two MPLS router also. So let's say redundancy, this is called a redundancy. So two internet routers, see, if hardware, okay, now see here, look at here, if you have two routers but single internet connectivity, if suppose this ISP is having some problem, then your internet gone, right? There is a not hardware problem, there is a ISP problem. So companies, what they do is they take a dual internet connectivity, one from one ISP, another from second ISP, and they will keep one of the ISP as a standby. Okay, in case this is down, right, then use this link. Similarly, same case here also. If this link down, then use this another ISP. So guys, this is called a redundant network.
Active and standby.
Exactly. Who is this?
Shada.
आप नहीं बोले तो अच्छा रहेगा भाई सब. Okay, so sorry for that. Okay, so active and standby. So one device will be active, one device will be passive. Passive, or see in the firewall, what it does is, see, this is very advanced thing which I am talking about right now. So right now you guys nothing to do with, you don't need to go many advanced thing and all. You have a full time there, you have a time there, so you can go in the future, but not now. Okay, but if you look at here, this firewall, they connected to each other, these two firewall, and one firewall will be active, one firewall will be passive. So traffic will be passed from one firewall only. Similarly, in the ISP, one will be active, one will be passive. Similarly, in the core switch, so now look at here. Now we need to learn this one, core switch. So this core switch, they will connected to via core, like trunk, and this trunk will be bundled via ether channel. So this core switch, see, and you know, in the this is called a redundancy devices, redundant devices, and they will be same hardware. It is not like a L2 and L3 you are trying to make a HA. No, it will not work. So you need to have same model. So this guy will called as a core switch 1, and this guy will called as a core 2. Core 1, core 2. So this is just name, but generally you will use that name. Core means because this is the very key role they are playing. That's why core switch. Okay. So now you connected that. Then now very important question here. Yesterday we saw the gateway, right? Gateway. So where should I configure the VLAN gateway? In core 1 or core 2? Because if you look at the machines, so there is a single gateway information you need to write. Let's say 192.168.10.1, one gateway only. But here you have two switches, right? So you need to have a like a VLAN 10 gateway. Where to configure the VLAN gateway? Can anyone just guess?
Using trunk, sir.
Mhm.
In router, sir.
So now just look at here. The first thing you need to understand, gateway will be one only. One entry and exit point to any VLAN. So when you're using the two switches, then where can I configure the gateway? That's why a new technology came into picture that is called gateway load balancing protocol. Gateway load balancing protocols. It has three protocols. One is HSRP, one is VRRP, and GLBP. So this is very advanced topic. Generally this type of lab will be in CCNP and CCI. You need to learn. But here I'm trying to give you a a complete picture. If you understand well, excellent. If you don't understand, then no problem. You have a time. Learn it later. So gateway load balancing protocol. So by the name you can see this is actually a multiple gateway. How you can load balance the gateway protocol. So by using this protocol, HSRP, hot standby routing protocol, VRRP, virtual router routing protocol, global routing protocol, yeah, GLBP. Okay, what's the difference between out of these three protocol? HSRP and GLBP, they are Cisco proprietary. Proprietary means they work on the Cisco only. But VRRP, it is a standard. VRRP is a protocol. You can use it into Juniper or any file, any device, any vendor, even Cisco also. But HSRP and GLBP, there belongs to the Cisco only. So by using this gateway protocol, you can have a load balancing between the gateway, between the VLAN. How? Let's go and check that. Okay. So HSRP, hot standby routing protocol. Host, hot standby routing protocol. Okay, HSRP. So we are going to see the HSRP. In Packet Tracer, HSRP actually support. And HSRP, you need to do it on the multi-layer switch only. Multi-layer switch. Where which will be actually a core switch of your LAN. So we what we do is whatever the VLAN you have VLAN 10, 20. So you will have a two VLANs there. Okay, let's go and let me take you here. Okay. So let's say what I will do, I will take two switches. Okay. Uh, multi-layer switches, one switch here, one switch here. See, I'm not going in much advance. Like from multi-layer switch, you can connect access layer switches, do the trunk and all. I will do that lab one day, where you can like we can create a real-time a LAN organization where multi-layer switches, all the routing protocols, all the switching technologies will be used there. We will see that. But right now, what we are going to see is we are going to see a okay. Let me take two access layer switches also here. One here and one is here. Okay. And what you need two systems at least. One here to this switch, two systems connected, and to this switch, two systems connected. Okay. Okay. Now, first let's get connect to them. So let me do this quickly. Trunk. So first thing, what I need, this is called, we will call core switch. So port 23 to 23. Port 23 to 23 core switch. Trunk. Then similarly here again, port 24 to 24 trunk. Okay. So remember STP will block there. So we need to make that port as a ether channel. Next, this switch. See, from this switch, you will have again redundant connection. How? So one port will go here to connect to this switch, and one port of this switch will connect to this switch. This is called redundancy, because see here, if this switch it just connect to core 1, and if the core 1 went down, so you will lose that. If you have this cable, so at least if it went down, so your traffic will, this user traffic will be go from here to here, right? So similarly, this switch, it will get connected to, oops, sorry, it is port 23, let's say. It connected here to 21, and from here this switch, it will get connect to port 24. Okay, so now see, this is just a redundancy. Can you look at it? And then endpoints. This endpoint where they will connect this PC is first it is 0 by 1 to, okay, you can connect it to port 1, then port 2, right? Similarly, from here, port 1, then port 2. Okay, so now see here, your all connectivity is done. Okay, all connectivity is done. So far, I have not given any IP address, nothing, just I connected them, right? So core 1, core 2, core 3, core 4. So what I can give is, so start from here. So always we can start from the trunk. So if you look at this switch core, see this is left side is the core 1, this core 2, this is axis 1, axis 2. So this core switch, it's port 21, 22, 23, 24. These all are trunk. Similarly here also. So what I can do is, I can first we will configure the trunk. Okay. Just say no. Then I will say enable config terminal. Let me give the name first. Host, I will say core 1. Okay. And I will say interface range fast Ethernet 0 by 23 to 0 by 21 to 24. Switch port mode access. Then you need to make switch port mode trunk. Done. This all become trunk now. So similarly, what I can do, I can copy that command actually and put it into there also. Do show history. To show history. Can you see this? I can copy that. I can use the notepad. Okay, notepad में जो सो यहाँ पे रख लो. देखो core 1. So what I can do, I can again copy this command and I will just change. This will be, the other will be my core 2 and rest all are same, right? So I will copy this back. I will go to my core switch 2. Just say no. Now enable config terminal. Just paste here. That's it. Done. Core 1 and core 2. Trunks are done. Then you also need to configure these guys. Actually, they will become trunk automatically. You no need to do anything. So I will say config terminal, host name, let's say access switch 1, right? And I will say interface range fast Ethernet 0 by 23 to 24. See, last ports we generally use for switch port mode trunk. Okay. So what I can do, I can again do show history. This command you can use it from anywhere. See this command. So I'm saving my time. I'm saving my time by using this one. So I will go here. Enable config terminal. So I can say host name, what is called access switch 2, and I can say interface range fast Ethernet 0 by 23 to 24, switch port mode trunk. Done. Right? So first work is done. Trunk. Right? Trunk is completed. Now after the trunk, what do you need? Now the after trunk, you need okay, if you look at here, out of this 2 cable, see one cable become spanning tree block that. So we can, guys, 1 second. Guys, give me 1 minute. I will come back. Okay, I'm back. So, where we are. So actually, we just created the trunk port. So what we can do is quickly, we can create one of the switch as a VTP server, core one. So I'm going to make, okay, here what we can do is in the spanning tree, and also actually we can do all the protocols, everything here. But right now, let's focus on few things only. So here what I'm going to do, VTP, okay, this again, all this lab we will do later. But right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create two VLANs. Manually I'm creating. By VTP we will see later. But right now my objective is I need to like we need to see the gateway load balancing. Okay, so first let's say okay, fine, VTP server, VTP mode server, then VTP password, VTP domain, VTP domain, let's say CCNA, and VTP password is Cisco. Okay, do show history. Copy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, see this VTP commands, VTP mode server, VTP password domain. So for remaining all, I want to make VTP mode CLIENT. I need to make VTP mode client. Okay, so I will go to other switches and I will simply paste this command. See, by using the notepad, I'm just saving my time. Done. Right. Similarly, you can go into this switches also, access layer switches, and just put this command in the config terminal. Okay, remember that. Yeah. Just go here, config terminal, then done. So VTP is done. So if you want to see, just go and check show VTP status. Okay, so okay, domain is there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm creating two VLANs from here. Okay, VLAN 10, name red, exit, then VLAN 20, name blue. Done. So if I see here, show VTP status. So this is the server mode, but can you see this? The total VLAN is 7 now and revision number is 4. So the same thing need to be you need to see in the all the switches. So if I go here and here, if I check in access switch, show VTP status. Can you see 7 and 4? It means when I see the show VLAN, I must see the red and blue VLANs there. Yes, I see there. And if you look at here, you must see that show VLAN, right? Red and blue. So what we will do is, we will the same thing. We will have 192.168, 10.1 and 10.2 here, and we will make even 10 VLAN 10, and this will be in VLAN 10, and this 2 will be in VLAN 20. Okay, so let me see. This is VLAN 10, this 2, and this 2 will be in VLAN 20. Okay, so let me quickly, let's assign the interfaces ports into that particular VLAN. So we know this. See, if you in the switching, if you try to do one lab, one advanced lab, so all previous lab will get covered. Okay, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. So in this switch, see VTP is all this all labs we are doing it in one lab only. Then interface 2, then switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Do show history. Do show history. Okay, now see here, because the same interface I have in another switch also, port 1, port 2, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste, go and I'm going to paste this command there also, config terminal, and boom, done. So simply you can verify show VLAN and check here. See, 2 interfaces done, and here also 2 interfaces done. So this is done, this is done, this is done. So now the next thing is here. In the system, we need to give the IP addresses. Desktop IP address. So 192.168.10. Let's say 2. 10. Okay, let's do one thing. Endpoints, we will give IP address something 10.10. And gateway, generally gateway we preferred the first IP address of the subnet dot one. This will be easy to remember. First or 254, something like this. So it will be remember. So I'm using the first IP address 192.168.10.10. Okay, this is the first IP address, and in this this is also VLAN 10. So here I'm going to give 192.168.10.11, and the gateway will be 192.168.10.1. Right now, next, then similarly, if I this is the red VLAN, so I'm going to configure 192.168.20.10. Okay, 20.1 will be the gateway for this. Similarly, if I go to this machine, okay, 192.168.10.11, 10.1, sorry, 20.1. So this is done. So if you want a quick test, you can just test from here. Command prompt ping 192.168.10.11, that another LAN machine. Okay, see the reachability is there. Okay, but it cannot, can it go to the its gateway? No, there is no gateway configured. 10.1 is a gateway, right? Similarly, can this guy ping to 192.168.192.168.20.1, sorry, 20.10. Shahid, can I able to ping this?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
very good. No, because this is another VLAN, right? So I'm trying to ping from VLAN 10 to VLAN 20. How I'm going to ping that? There is no gateway. With that's what we are learning from yesterday, right? Without gateway, you cannot ping to other networks. VLAN means network. Two different VLANs. 10 is having a different network. 20 is having a different network. So they cannot talk to each other until unless you have a gateway place in that. Okay, so that we understand. So now where to configure the gateway? कहाँ पे configure करेंगे? Core 1 और Core 2 है वहाँ पर. So let's go and see that. Okay, so there is something called config terminal. We will create interface VLAN 10. So it is called, yesterday I told one terminology, what we called it when we configured virtual interface, what it's called? SVI, switch virtual interface. Every VLAN, every layer 2 VLAN will have a layer 3 interface that is called SVI, and this is the place where we configured a gateway. Okay, VLAN gateway. So VLAN 10, okay, this is the gateway. So the first thing first, we are using, see, yesterday we saw directly we can configure the IP address and we can create the gateway. But here what I'm going to do, I'm going to use IP one second. Okay, so I will say standby question mark. First you need to give a group number, so I will say standby 10. Next, standby 10, what is standby 10, what is your enable HSRP set the virtual IP address. Okay, standby 10, what is your virtual IP actually? So I will say standby 10 IP is 192.168.10.1. This will be your standby IP. Address is not within a subnet on this interface. Okay, so you need to give the IP address first here. IP address. So 192.168.10. I will say 255.255.255.0. So first we have given the IP address. Then here so here we will use standby. Okay, 10 IP address you have given. Next, okay, that's fine. So if I go and check here, what I did just now, show run. If you go to interface, now see here, you have given virtual interface, IP address, and the standby 10. So this is actually your virtual gateway. On physical interface, there will be virtual gateway. So similarly, what I'm going to do, if I copy that, okay, so if I look at here, oops, I did not copy it. VLAN 10. Okay. Okay, so VLAN 10 I configured like this. So this MAC address, it came default, so I don't want to touch that. Now similarly, just look at here for VLAN 20 what I'm going to configure. So I will say interface VLAN 20, and I will say you need to give some IP address, dummy IP address like 20.2, but actual your gateway will be here under standby command. You need to configure your gateway. So standby 20, and my IP address of VLAN 20 is this one, 20.1. Can you see this? 20.1. So what we have given, this is the physical address of that interface, but your actual gateway of the VLAN will be configured with the standby IP. Okay, so if you look at here, see gateway is here 10 and 20. So let me go and configure here in the core switch. Config terminal. I will go ahead and paste it. Done. So gateway 1 and 2 is configured. Okay, so what, see, this configuration is for core 1, right? This 2 configuration. So what I can do, I can just copy it, and I will make this is for the core 2 also. So for the VLAN 10 core 2, see, this IP address will get changed only. See this, because you cannot use, see, 192.168 10.3 IP address I'm giving, but standby will be the same. Similarly for 20, this IP address will get changed, and your gateway will be same. See, in core 2 also I'm using the same gateway, right? So I will just copy it and I will just paste it here in the core switch 2. Config terminal, boom. So now just wait here. So you will see some notification here. Show IP interface brief. If you go down, so can you see you have 2 interfaces up, and interface, the IP address is saying 10.3, but your actual gateway will be 10.1 and 20.1, which you configured. Okay, can you see this standby? Can you see this messages, what it is saying? Group 10 set speak to standby. It means this core 2 switch become, these 2 interfaces become standby. And how we can verify that? Show IP standby. No, show standby. I think show standby. Show standby brief. Okay, can you see this? What it is saying? It is saying there are two things. So these states become standby. The active is actually this guy. The core one switch IP address what we use 192.168.10.2, right? So that is actually active, they're saying. And virtual IP address, this is actually a virtual IP address which is actually your gateway, which is 10.1. So similarly, if you go and look at this here, if you go and look at here, config, sorry, show standby brief. See, so what it is saying, active is local. Local means itself, and standby is the another core switch IP addresses 10.3. So this protocol will inform that who is active and who is passive, right? So one thing I forget to enable in enable the layer 3, you need to enable IP routing. Remember this. Otherwise your layer 3 routing will not be happen without using this. So I will say config terminal IP routing to enable the routing capability in this one. So what we have done, so from this switch, see here in the machine we use one gateway only, 192.168.10.1. So where it will go actually? So who out of this core switch 1 and core switch 2, who is active? This guy is active, right? So if you go and try to ping it first, let's ping 10.1. It's gateway. Can you ping? Yes, you are pinging to gateway. Next, can you ping to the another machine which is in another VLAN via gateway? Yes, you can ping to another machine. Similarly, let me try from here. Let me try from here. So ping 192.168.20.10 11 is his itself only 20.10. Can it ping? Yes, it can ping. Can it ping to 192.168 10.10? Yes, it can. So they all are able to ping each other. But now let me show you one magical command. Tracert 192.168.10.10. How actually you are going? See, the first thing, it went to its gateway. See where this machine is. This machine is connected to the core 2. Okay, so but it is showing 20.2. 20.2, where we configure this 20.2. Actually, we configure 20.2 here. So it went here, and from here it went here. Similarly, from here, if suppose I ping like this, I trace it. Tracert 192.168.20.11. See, here also it went 10.2. Now look at here, guys. This machine want to talk to this machine, so it went to core 1 and went here. And when this machine want to talk to this one, so it again went to core 1 and went to the destination. It did not go to the core 2. Why? Because core 2 is a standby. All the traffic is right now carrying from here. Why it is happening? It is happening just because of the HSRP. So what I'm going to do is, now look at the magic here. What is the magic here with the HSRP? If something happened to this switch, what I'm going to do, I'm going to what is called
Power off, sir.
exactly. यहाँ पे ऑप्शन है क्या, वो देख रहा हूँ मैं यहाँ पे, नहीं है यहाँ पे ऑप्शन. So what I can do is मैं इसको निकाल ही दे दूंगा. यहाँ जाओ, बूम, गया. अब देखो, so what will happen with the just consider that switch had some problem. It went down. So what will happen? So can you still talk to this guy? Now compare here. Just look at here. Now currently spanning tree is wasting your time here. See, it's trying to blue to green. So if you set spanning tree rapid fast, then this time will be get reduced. Remember this point. See, when the switch went down, it's taking time to come back. Okay, so if suppose if you want to ping, so spanning tree is consuming time there.
$30.
Yes, not 30 seconds, 50 seconds.
Okay.
See, now it started pinging. Now, if I trace out that same path, so what is happening? Now, guys, can you see this? This is very important to understand. Previously, see, previously when I was pinging to 192.168.20.11, so just see here. Previously, it was going via 10.2, which was core 1. But now, when core 1 is down, it is going via 10.3, which is nothing but the core 2. Now, see, this LAN become active now. So, this is the magic of redundancy, where if one thing went down, active standby, one will be standby. If any switch has any problem, then it will go and become active. So if I control Z, so now look at here. Now see, right now this guy, when it become a standby, right? So see, it's HSRP was again standby to active. This become active. Why? Because the other switch, what it will do, it will send some health check saying that I am active, I am active, I am active. So this guy will be keep active. But after some time, when the switch 1 was down, so this guy become active. Show standby brief. See, currently this guy is active for VLAN 10 and 20, and it's showing a standby. I don't know. So it will take some time to get this switch get fully rebooted and get all the configuration things and all. Then this guy will become active automatically again. And you have a command to if you want to make for VLAN 20, if you want to make this guy active, then there is a command called config terminal interface VLAN 20. You need to go to under VLAN 20, and here standby 20. You need to give the priority. By default it is 100. If you increase the priority, let's say 150, so this guy will become active. For VLAN 20, core 2 is active now. Why? Because by default priority is 100. So now for VLAN 20, core 2 is become active, and core 1, and in the core 1 you can give for VLAN 10 you can give priority 150. So like this you can do a load balancing on the VLAN level also. For VLAN 10 this is active, for VLAN 20 this is active, and you can make similarly spanning tree. This is a root bridge for VLAN 10, this is a root bridge for the VLAN 20. So this is how the redundant network work, and this is what the HSRP is. So guys, in this lab we have seen a lot of things. In the same lab you can do the ether channel, you can do the spanning tree labs, you can do the VTP. See, in one lab you are doing all the switching technologies, all 7-8 chapters what we have seen here. See, in the here We have say VLAN, trunk, VTP, STP, Ether channel, router. Instead of router, stick multi-layer switch, then gateway load balancing. A complete network. If any one of you, I have 13 participants here. मेरे को छोड़ के 12. So if out of this 12 participants, if anyone able to do a successful lab, what I have shown today, then I'm telling you that guy will be the first person to get the job. See, the job will given by Allah Ta'ala, but what I'm saying is that guy, from my understanding, that guy understand each and everything of the switching. And I'm telling you, let's have a challenge. Who will do this lab first? The same thing. And we recorded this video also, because in this lab we covered all the stuffs. So we recorded this video. Shahid will upload this video on the YouTube. You can watch this multiple times, and I will also share some notepad and notes into the group. Try to do this lab, which is called standby, like redundant network, redundancy. And if you get this, then you win. Your win. And I will say L2 switching is in L2 and L3 switching is in your pocket. After this, nothing. After this, you have your 2 more steps to do. You have a routers, some routing protocol, and the firewall. That's it. But this understanding is very important. So namaskar time ho raha, so let's stop here and take this very seriously. This is very important. And guys, tomorrow I'm coming to PSF office. So tomorrow there will be you guys need to give a presentation, okay, on any topic. So VLAN, I will call Hamed Ali, and I will give any topic. You need to come on stage and explain that. I will give you pen and paper, pen and you can explain, you need to explain on the board. Anyone, see, whatever the topic we learn, VLAN, trunk, VTP, STP, Ether channel, router on stick, multi-layer switch, HSRP, this is called gateway level load balancing. Then also some LAN, some TCP IP stuffs, whatever I have taught you so far, even servers also. So tomorrow is whatever you learn so far, please get revise everything, and let's get together there, and we will have a fun there. We will see where we are. Okay, we'll see like what is our weakness, what is our strength, where we need to do. So try to recap, revise all the labs. Okay, even the commands also. I'm going to ask you what is the show commands of this, what is going to show, how to configure this. You need to memorize that. So tomorrow is your, you can say, a mock interview. Okay, so of the switching. So this is actually the preparation. Just consider that tomorrow is your interview for the switching, and you need to prepare and come to PSF office. Okay, ठीक है. So we'll stop here. Mr. Shahid.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
ठीक है, चलो इसको recording stop कर दो and upload it on the YouTube whenever you have time. Okay.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
so tomorrow, yeah, we will meet the same time, 10 o'clock, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.